Asa na sila, day?
Sir Sherwin, okay na ta, sir?
Isak kinabuhi sa commuter. Isip yung sakay, isip yung ulan. May untag na programa ang city government nga muhatag og libreng sakay para dili mag-stranded ang mga pasahero. So tama niyo no. Isip yung ulan. Isip yung sakay, matugay na po kuliron. Ingna'ng Mayor.
Kaming mga manindahay diri nga mga ginagmay ra nga nagid tami ka bilang kautangan na lang kausla na lang nga gamay ra og tubo kay daghang requirement kay di ba mi kompleto amo landing area ra biya ni
Ingna'ng Mayor.
Samo kay kanang gugot ba wa sila nakaayo kung asa dapita ang kanang ko labo na kanang bike bitaw nila kaning magkasugat-sugat na di hapit maka so na mga kanang mga motor na masuot pa dito nga dagko nga sakyanan samot ka traffic. So why klaro nga kuan ba kung asay mo exit nga mo entrance sana ba.
Ingna'ng Mayor. Oh, Ingna'ng Mayor.
Unsa jud kaning Singapore like Cebu City sa?
Ingna'ng Mayor.
Hello, mga kasuko. Welcome. This is a program Ingna'ng Mayor. Ang atong pinalangga nga mayor sa Dakbayan sa Cebu City Mayor Mike Rama, live ron dito sa Melbourne, Australia. Mayor Mike, maayong adlaw.
Ang adlaw ni mo Bilma ato mga kaubanan diha muna ni balhin mo kag kwarto mo nang ang intro nimo naglibog na kung sao pagsud. But anyway, ibalo na ko nga musud na juga kay musulti naman itong katapusan nga pabay.
Yes. Mas nakatimaan pa ka, Mayor Mike, kay kanako. Anyway, Mayor, how are you?
So still very happy, especially balumakan ako nga mas in a while nga murag kupot o kanang daksanay ba sa akong pamilya. Okay. Sa kabisi na ko, balumakan ako nga grabe kayo mo schedule niya. Dini,
Yes.
nindot kayo nga ingon nagiging Ingna'ng Mayor, ako lang nang i-adjust na tayo. Aron nga makaabot ko diya.
Yes, Mayor Mike. Mo gyud na usa sa imong mga traits nga why makalupig ana. Mutuman ka sa imuhang responsibilidad o sa imong mga obligasyon bisan mismo sa imuhang programa nga Ingna'ng Mayor. Mayor Mike, magsugod ayon ta sa
Sige,
mga
go ahead.
issues nga naglambigit sa Dakbayan sa Cebu. While you're there, nagpadayon ang kontrobersiya maitungod sa MCWD. I'm pretty sure kahibaw yun kung nakahibaw ka sa dagan diri sa Dakbayan sa Cebu, though you are in Australia. Mayor Mike, unsa may imuhang reaction ni ining letter, katong imuhang letter recommendation asking LOA nga mo issue sila og certificate of no objection, which gideny sa administrator karon mao ni naka-create og controversy nga nag-question unsa ba gyud ni Mayor Rama, naa ba gyud ni siya authority to fire nganong nagbuot-buot man ni siya nga ang administrator sa LOA karon ni paggawas og statement nga dili maka-fire ang mayor sa usa ka LGU sa mga sakop sa board of local water utility unless na ay approval sa LOA.
Di na ko mo apel pa ng diskusyon na nandapita. Ang pinaka-importante, nakasuod na ang ato ang MCWD nga mga bag-o nga uban na reappointed na to. And they already have performed their function, continuously will be doing it, and I'm expecting them with the least intervention on the part of the mayor, as I have always been at the hindsight, Vilma, it's not new for me to be involved with MCWD. You know too well that I've been elected in 2010. That alone already brought me to bring in my appointees, and needless to enumerate. Then thereafter came ascended inunta na si mayor ko. Then I was involved in the council regarding that movement, which I was not in favor actually on the corporate situation nga there was such a thing as removal. But anyhow, came in na anay decision nga ang mayor, aside from have the power to appoint, it follows that he has the power to remove. Wala magyud ba to start with nga gusto na kong i-remove, i-downgrade naman to nako. Pero naabot na ang sitwasyon, hantod karon nakasold na sila, naka-perform na sila, sagdila ng istorya sa administrator kay naglinahadlan pa na i-clarify. Was he speaking on his own? Is he authorized to do it in behalf of the board? Yeah, what about the requirement na nung dugay makay nilang itubag ang atong mga gustong mahitabo, then bringing us to a situation that exigency demands water as a vital commodity, the mayor has to come in. He has to come in because he will be answerable to its constituency. Manay nahitabo karon na ato silang ipadayon. I will give them the full support from the city government, ang kanang karong bag-ong grupo sa MCWD management, especially sa composition sa kaning board of directors with the new chairman in the person of Mel Feliciano.
Pero dili ba ni maka-create og confusion, Mayor Mike, nga here is the laws insisting with the statement, banking on the statement sa administrator nga wa kay power to remove him and the other board members, and while these other appointees that you've made, magsugod na sab sila sa ilahang functions.
No, I don't think it's going to be a problem. Knowing all of them, ito ang kabuok diya nga tagadiha na daan na ato rang i-reappoint. Yeah, knowing the rest, na dili na sila mga pipitsugin. They carry track record of their own competency. I do not have to be speaking and describing who is Totol Batuhan. I do not want to describe also who is Mel Feliciano and who is Nelson Yubalios, because these are three personalities that kanagingalan nila nga ang ilang mga achievement precede themselves.
Also specific directives nga imong ihatag, Mayor Mike, or do you have that jurisdiction ba to say something to this board?
And definitely, especially karon nga kanang I have the right to appoint and I have the right to remove. It goes without saying na agyunay responsibility ang mayor. Kaya dili man pwedeng ang mayor mo dapat nagreklamo na sige madungog na to, may tubig diri, may tubig diya, kunya, etc. May construction diya sa dalan, kunya gikan sa MCWD ang kanang mga kontraktor, di na pwedeng basta lang salintan. And that matter will have to be, if and when received by the mayor, he will course it without having to call them to a meeting, because we can just have some, like our city administrator, to appear before the board and bring a concern on the side of the office of the mayor. It does not bar the city administrator to appear, because the concern of the board is also the concern of the city government, primarily also the concern of the mayor.
So also yung mga specific directives that you will be giving to the new set members of the board?
Actually, we already have discussed that, especially kinirong issue that had brought the board into a problem, especially on kaning mga bidding things that are ongoing. Number two, mga issues on how it has already been highlighted. Kadugog man ko ni Mel Feliciano, by now, it may have been already emerged everything what's going on within MCWD. And with that being already as a part of what he needed, this matter can be ventilated. Taas maguna, numdum ako na dito sa konseho pa ko, mag-istorya o asa na ang dam. Baka, yan mo nang abota dito sa opisina ni kaning Enrique Rason, nga pwede di ay ang dam. Karon, it has to be once and for all look into. Number two, where are we now on the dissertation kana sa atong Buhisan Dam? Because that will have to be tackled as well. Karon nga, we will have more kanang sources of water kay musaka naman ang iyang capacity. Karon pwedeng taasa ang iyang self ang kanang iyang self diha nga na singala na produce. Now we're talking now of how to address on the non-revenue water. That matter cannot be ignored because that's about 20 or 30% losses na. Then of course the efficacy, the effectiveness, and most of all, kriminal ko nag-isulti nga, ayaw ninyo in town burden labi na ang kanang mga pobre. Kung mahimo pa, affordability of water should always be within the reach of the unimaginable poor. Wala pala sila klarong balay, mas nakaligo, I don't think it's going to be fair. And our administration will be mindful in bringing dignity, and that affordability, accessibility of water to the poor will eventually musaka jud ug maakwar jud nato kanang ato ang mantra, making the life of the poor better, the middle class comfortable, and the rich to share. So with that, Bill, aware na to si City Administrator Colin Rosell, kunya especially karon and continuous discussion with them. After this, mag-video na sa mi, tulo, Tony Colin, ako, o si kaning Jeron Castillo. After, we have also some discussion in the national level on this matter of, you call it, conflict, impasse, or what. But the way I look at it, the show must go on. A new MCWD set of board with the chairman, and they are now having meetings. They should continue to have meetings and prioritize really looking after clean, affordable, effective, efficient availability of water.
So can you assure the water consumers of a continuous service in spite of the conflict of leadership in the board?
I don't think it's going to be a problem. I don't think, because kanang mga tao sa MCWD employees, be it kanang ilahang mga managers, they have known me. I have known them, as I've said, kauna pa ko ana nila ang mga uban diha, because I've been with MCWD, as I told you, since 1980s pa, as chairman of the Regional Utility Industry Board. Kanang nga si Victor Chong, monay union ana diha sa MCWD. Kanang karon nga nahimong konsilor sa Tihero, si kaning Monet o sinisi na diha union president sa MCWD. So in other words, I am a friend of MCWD. Unless nakalimot na sila sa akong attachment with them. Way back 1980s, way back time pa ni Father King Silva.
Okay.
I know these people, and they are decent people. Kabalo mga union, they're also being educated to be responsible union members and also responsible officers. In the same light, those in management, they are expected also to be decent and be mindful of some dictum in terms of management prerogative, and also dictum that without labor there can be no capital, without capital there can be no labor. I mean, I'm very much aware kaya ako exposure good is labor, management, and government. Yeah, tulugin na ako ang exposure for 31 years. That has been every now and then, especially karon, though I have not anymore been involved nga as president, bago naman ang president, si Jose Cosimenes naman, and we're talking about PABA, Philippine Association of Voluntary Arbitration. Ini sa city na nasa Bago, I was told na ang ABAC, Association on Voluntary Arbitration, this can bring matters, then you would be able to be in contact with labor entities. Ya PMAP sad ko. Ya MAP sad ko. Sa manang PMAP, Philippine kaning personnel or Philippine Association of Management, no? Una sa PMAP. Ya MAP, Management Association of the Philippines. So that brings me with the capital. Now, since 1992, I've been with government until today. So I've been with government. So my exposure really is labor, management, government. So I wish on the part sa atong MCWD employees, I can guarantee that I'm not around to complicate matters. I'm around to address a concern. And there is really a concern. And the mayor has to take charge of that. And I made a statement. I take full responsibility of my action. And that is why I am very clear to face anyone in any discussion, in any platform for that matter.
Okay. Mayor Mike, you were talking about biddings. Can you elaborate further?
I do not want to be discussing in details, but I wish in the days to come that matter will have to be brought to the attention to the public. I do not want to preempt because it would be better if and when there's still things that I will be needing to put all of this in what I call proper perspective, so that looking forward, then we can anymore just leave them there, and then they will proceed, and then the mayor will be attending to other matters. Because you look what happened to Davao now. You've heard about Davao.
Yes, grabe.
I was looking at it. That was what I've been worried all the time, because I've seen what happened in Iligan, and I have seen what happened in Cagayan. Third, I was in Yolanda, and I was Santa Claus in Yolanda as mayor. I ended up doing cleanup also in the north, which is San Remigio and Midillion. I mean, we have our own share of Odette. I mean, this water is one primary matter that should not be just taken for granted. So that one that will already be in a state of, I call it, shall we say, harmony. Once it is already in a level of, shall we say, equilibrium, so that all in that area of importance will now work and then move in its own, with all those very important people already being a part. And I'm pretty sure they cannot also just bring their names, but I am expecting them to put their gray matter and their expertise towards addressing a very primary concern, which is life, and that is water.
Okay. Sir, before shifting to another issue, if you have some other points to emphasize regarding MCWD.
First, I have said it and I will repeat it. I am not to start at the beginning. I was only downgrading. Number two, it reached to a point where there was already really justifiable facts. And it's not from me. A copy was presented and provided us, which really brought that there are actions that previous, I will refer them the previous management, especially the board, that it is constituting allegedly as fraud, and it brings it actionable administratively and even legally. And of course, I'd like to stress that the board that I have appointed on the basis of police power, act of preservation, and an emphasis of local autonomy as provided under Constitution, and then much replete of provision in the local government code 7160 that the mayor cannot just be looking at and be a sitting or what we call sitting on its right and making things just flow. I am doing it on the basis of as an elected mayor, and if and when na mga tao maningil ako about tubig, di makumingon nga wako'y labot ana. So
Yes.
dili kay nga di ko mangilabot. It is part of my responsibility. It goes with the trade as a mayor. And then just to make it emphasize, you pray that in the weeks or in the days to come, a week, perhaps all of this should not be a discussion anymore. Yeah, especially kanang dili lang magpabaga. Kung yung word na ko, unsa magyuna dia sa MCWD ba? Ngano man yung gakson man yung pag-ayo. Nga palihog lang. Wala ni say personalan ha, wala. Dili ni mingon uban nga politika. No. I have been a part of the political family Rama that brought my attention even at the age of 9 years old. And this is 1960s. And therefore, I've never been detached. All that is connected with political skirmishes, historical mga accounts. I have always been so many things to share, Vilma. Just an example, wa ko'y usa ka protesta dito sa Ayala at the time nga namatay si Ninoy, wa ko mo apil. Manay mong hinumduman. Ug wa sa ko kanang kamatayon sa mga dagkong tao, nga wa ko mag-apil-apil ug tan-aw dito sa ilang lungon. I'm talking about Ninoy and even the President Cory Aquino and the son, Noy. I've been always apart. And here in Cebu, I have been in several occasions involved and being a part of what I call movement that will stand against national issues. And therefore, kanang mingon tagpo nga ang atong pagpakabana, ang atong pagbarog, timing lang sa Partido Barog, Team Rama, dili ginamawa. Wala ko lang intensyon, kung dili magdipinsa lang yun sa akong tanaw nga naa sa ko'y baruganan, being the elected mayor and then at the same time a lawyer.
Ang Partido Barog Kusog panaghio sa Mayor Mike, existing pa ba na hangtod karon?
No, I do not know sa ilaha, but kanang People's Progressive Partido Barog Team Rama na kanya mas bayang istorya ka, ay ako may kanang presidente ana, accredited na ang Partido Barog, kanya dito ko ana sa Comelec, wala lang kaabot, kapay lang sa Certificate of Candidacy under PDP Laban. But we were able to secure, kung lawyer ana, na Alcance Council, attorney kaning Mat Medalye, kaming duha na dito sa Comelec. Siya mo'y magparal sa dokumento, ako mo'y nitindog dito as a witness before the kaning certain division of COMELEC, then being asked and cross more or less in a direct examination, and the COMELEC commissioner also were bringing questions to me. That precisely, I'm very proud kanang ato ang Partido Barog is a Bisayan 6, 7, and 8 party. Muna siya. Niya, kada siya nabuhat na in anticipation, unta. Kung may nayon tong federalism. You remember there was this movement federalism?
Yes.
And I was looking beyond. Niya, I do not know what Robin Padilla been doing. Eh, mamato iya.
Parang nakalimtan?
Nakalimta naman, no? Niya karon na concern sa PDP laban ng mga istorya, which I am in contact with Senator Bongo, even from where I am, so with Pito Alvarez, but I would wish to be intimating to our chairman PRRD, Digong Duterte, that as member of an officer of PDP Laban, I will always stay as PDP Laban. And I'm wishing that my nephew, Congressman Edu Rama, should also be staying as PDP Laban. And then whoever are with me on this, I wish I will be very happy. But as of now, the national hierarchy was telling me to President Pito Alvarez na magkita kami, mag-istorya mi, hopefully also with Edu Rama. The congressman, also an officer sa meeting sa ko, balik, sa mag-abot ako sa Partido Barog. Okay, para mag-acquainted sila where we are going.
Okay. Because there was a statement from Vice Mayor Raymond Alvin Garcia, nunot na ining kontrobersiya sa MCWD involving Attorney Daluz, being the head also of Panaghiusa, that somehow the coalition between Barog, Kusog, and Panaghiusa kuana kaning apektado na. Although si Vice Mayor assured that Barog and Kusog intact paghihapon.
Dinura yun na, baka ako man lang isulti ni kaning acting mayor Raymond na as far as kaning as an independent mayor, clear man na ako, no? Na let's not get into thinking of Panaghiusa, thinking of Kusog, but let's focus of the original, which is really kanang Panaghiusa. Adto ka nas kumilik, ako may nanangid ana ni katong namatay nga senador Sani Osmeña. Kay kami mga Rama, mga urig maming Panaghiusa, urig. Now, at that time, it was a needed thing na we were able to have that and call it at that time Team Rama niya Panaghiusa niya, then ended up una Team Rama Panaghiusa. Siya.
Okay.
Later on, establish ang katong kuyog na ang Kusog, mo nang nasod na ang Kusog. But of course, thankful ko ni kaning acting mayor, kaya ako nagisulti sa niya nga dong dili lang ta magbuwag. Kung magbuwagod kanang Garcia, nga na pa si Gobernador, na ang Rama, na ang uban nga mga North and South, labi na karon nga I'm wishing even with Edu Rama and QT Dilma, let's all look at from the point of view of E pluribus unum. Makosa ng E pluribus unum. There is oneness in majority. So we can just have all of us as one. and then perhaps under the statement, we can be united amidst diversity. And that
Yes.
will always bring good for the city, Singapore like Cebu City. Mo ginaato ah. So I am wishing that I'm in contact with acting mayor. The other day we have a Zoom discussing about how the elders should participate in the formation sa mga kaning especially sa issue sa kaning ilang rest uh, Jessica sa SK Federation. So we already put the platform ana and we thankful ko nga ni si walang kaabot si Nestor. I would have been wished to have Leah Upson, but Franklin Ong was there, Colin Rosell, then Jeron Castillo, Vice Mayor, Joy Pisquera, niya, fortunately, manawag pa sa kong pilig, manuwa ka join si Philip Sapra, plus, of course, Dondon. And then, of course, in that platform, they are already being mandated na sila, mga batanon, kami, mga gingalan og eskeme, sobra 40. Sila na mo porma diyag tabang sa mga batanon. Unya, mindful sa sit-up na mo sa kaning even sa Councilors League, sa Vice Mayor's League, o sa League Cities of the Philippines. That we do not, and we have to avoid kaning pursuing an election when it becomes divisive.
Okay.
If it can be just discussed among them without having to, through this matter, to a plenary for purposes of election, but rather let the youth just agree if they can agree. North o South o kinsa na mga officers, so that gumana ni, we in the city government, me as mayor, Raymond as vice mayor, and all the councilors, with the private sector, we will give our full support so that the youth power will now be produced and will now look beyond, and they will now take the lead. Kini atong among mga anak, especially ni kani si Inti, 3 years old, anak ni Nestor 7 years old, anak ni Edo na siya mga kaning 10 years old, 9 years old. So it's about time that we do a paradigm shift. Ang akong phrase diya, paradigm political shift.
Okay. Mayor Mike, niasab ka ba na to Sir Earl Padronia sa Sunstar Cebu, but
Go
before
ahead.
Earl, if you have questions, nasa ko i-follow-up question lang, Mayor Mike, since we're talking about SK, how about the ABC? You were saying that you will be endorsing Councilor Franklin Ong,
I've
but
said that.
yes, but Vice Mayor Garcia is saying if he's entertaining the idea na pwedeng mo entertain sab og lain nga mga possible candidates, although walay question according to him as to the leadership of Ong, but posibleng naa pay laing mga tao who might be also qualified for the position.
Actually, ang ako lang yung wish na wish. Okay, we are in a democratic process. However, having been long enough for 31 years in public service, and then I have never been known to be unfair. I've always been known to be giving what is due if and when. Muna bitaw nga, I would not want to change my position because I have also bases. If you look at when we ask the question, for example, unsa may bati ni Franklin Ong, pero mingong ikag unsa kanindot ni Franklin Ong as ABC, di nila tingali ako mo side pag enumerate. Kaya na pa man diya, no? Daghan man na diyang nakadaog. Daghan sad ang, I don't know, pila kabog ang bag-o. But akong gitanaw, majority man tingali ang nakadaog. Now, kana sila, there will be a certain voice, a certain voice. Now, of course, I'm not talking as president of Partido Barog Team Rama. Now, if there is going to be anyone also standing, of which I do not want to answer now, because I'm just waiting so that we will make all of this be placed manamanang youth. So, ang sunod, ako galing gusto ng lingkuran sa as an elder is the kaning councilors league sa barangay. Then later on kanus aman jud ang election sa kaning ABC. I need to know so that I can also put in a schedule while I'm here. I would be able to have Zoom so that I can have guidance. But rest assured, I was already telling Franklin Ong, Mabitaw, if you look at the outcome of this election, if you have seen it, I am quite emphatic because of the setup of, without having to be divisive, but Singapore, like Cebu City, convergence as a formula. Makita na to nga ubay-ubay buhol ang kaning on the side sa atong partido nga nidaog. Ikaduha, naasay mga kandidatong kumun na mong duha ni Franklin. Naasay mga kandidato kumun na mong duha ni kaning Nestor Archibald. And definitely kanang nakadaog, definitely kanang mingon tag amo that is within the group, which included still, of course, will be acting Mayor Raymond Garcia. So, among kita natanaw, I do not know exacto ba ko, 50 matingin na kabuo o 60 ba. Unya,
Okay.
the remaining na ikumun nasay kanang individually nga mo claim sa nga they won on their own. So amo pa na siyang pencil pushing ni Aya na Samal aron makita nato unsay kanang picture sa data.
Mayor Mike, nay naghunghong nako sa before the election, you made a promise to Captain Iran for the ABC. Ngano nausab kuno ka karon?
Ginganlan og only polls don't change their mind.
Okay.
And I don't want to highlight Ananda Pita diha because I want to be fair. But I'm really sorry that I made a stand.
Okay. Mayor Mike, diana si Earl sa Sunstar. Earl,
Go ahead.
go ahead.
Good morning, good afternoon, Mayor.
Yes, Earl.
So, Earl sa Sunstar. Mayor, pasensya na kayo, may turbo ka na karon nang ako lang yung balikon sa kaning sitwasyon karon sa MCWD, medyo hot topic again sa Mayor, no? So, recently, Mayor, I've established contact with the LUA administrator nga si Vicente Rivil. So, usa sa mga situation ngayon di ko antay kanigong resolution number 35 sa Board of Trustees nga ang iyang sultis ko kay kanang gidali ko nun siya og approve and sa Board of Trustees niya kay kung man ikato man ni provide sila og intervention niya interim board sa MCWD. Mayor, kanang unsay say nimo aning si Ong kay atong sa lower board kay ni submit aning resolution number 35 na mukuan sila o intervene sila niya mohimo sila interim board. Mayor,
I will not be able to be commenting on matters I was not privy to. Number two, it is something that has to be looked into on the authorities administrator to make a pronouncement without the board even agreeing to it. So I do not wish to meddle, and I do not wish to be more of an additional concern within that area. Let them handle it and let them settle the matter, because there's an obvious discordance within that level. And that is not my concern, it's their concern. I've already made my move, and that move stays. The new set of MCWD Board of Directors with the chairman have assumed, and that stays.
For the record lang, Mayor, no, so, ang inyong is communication with LOA, katulad yung ni-request mo og certificate of no objection from them, Mayor. So, namang ko sa PCAS nga kuan ko no, basig na ko no influence or interest nga kuan ang siguro ang city government with LOA. What time
Interest?
sa buong.
What do you mean by interest? I don't even want to think about that law exists. If they cannot solve the problem, so I will solve it for them.
Sige. Mayor, follow-up question, kaning going with the election ni Feliciano as chairman of the board, Mayor. So, usa siya mga proposal can review sa mga pipeline projects sa NC, which is mo to sa karaan nga board. Mayor, di ba niya maka-affect sa mga proponents nga ni invest sa kaning mga pipeline projects, labi na kaning mga desalination plants? Nga, masay kuan sa Mayor about sa other LGUs, dako mangguning franchise sa MCWD. So, nabay siguro communication ang mga other mayors with you or sa new board sa MCWD?
If you're asking me, I don't want also to be a spokesperson of the local chief executive, but I had the chance to be in our tit-a-tit when there is a gathering, kita mis mga mayor, they also have their own comments and in fact observation of the way MCWD is managing water. Number two, as I have said, if you're talking about what are we talking of billion worth of contracts? Because if we're talking about billion worth of contract, the more it should be tackled with, I call it immaculateness. Number two, with sense of regularity. Number three, with parameter of accountability and transparency. And that is what the present board should be pursuing. And you know me well that if there is nothing wrong, assuming of which we will not end up to the situation if there was nothing wrong. Because even OGCC, Office of the General Corporate Council, already made their own findings. And that findings cannot just be ignored. Twice pa. Talking about defiance or what we call the procurement process not being followed. I mean, these are very vital infirmities. And knowing that I've always been bringing to all that corruption is not my cup of tea. Hence, with this new set of MCWD management, particularly the board of directors, that is the marching order that I would wish them to do on anchorage of the right to appoint and even by judgment of the court, the right to remove. So that matter, Earl, it goes without saying that nothing to worry on the part of the consumers, nothing to worry on the part of the proponents, because my track record will always bear. If it will only be requiring curative, then we cure. But if it is too much of being too faulty, then we amend. If not, we rescind. I mean, these are all, shall we say, approaches that belongs to the management, particularly the board, of course with the guidance of the mayor being the appointing power.
So you mentioned sa last part Mayor na ang relationship niyo karon with Feliciano Mayor is si Feliciano is under the guidance of Cebu City government ba Mayor or under sa imong kuan unsay mga pasabot ba ni Mayor kung unsay mga siguro policy sa atong MCWD is kailangan mo kuan with consonant
It doesn't have to follow. It has to follow because although it's already gikula akong attention sa ako ang nasa Zoom la ining Zoom diri sa ato ang platform Earl kaning it will not follow because before I never intrude, never. This is not the first time I became mayor. In fact, I've been twice, 2010 to 2000 up to 16. Then I became vice mayor. Then I ascended as mayor, the third. Then I get elected. So matter about getting into MCWD, unless I see it deemed necessary because it creates an issue of public policy and the national, shall we say, interest, then that's the only time I will be coming in, even asking for a time to be present with the board. And that's why I would not want, because the board is a corporate in nature. And therefore, I've been in a corporation. I know that a corporation is run by the board, and then there is an executive vice president, of which I was a part as a personnel and legal manager. I should know where I should stand, lest it can create more trouble if a mayor keep on intruding and a mayor keep on meddling. I'm not a meddling mayor. I'm an empowering mayor.
Sige Mayor, ang mutabok lang ko sa kaning with the election sa kan ABC President Mayor. So
Meron ng EBC dong. Meron ng EBC kay layo pa pa ng EBC. Ang importante karon amo na nang gitakol ang kanang SK Federation niya. You can already connect with the rest Jessica, and if not Attorney Joy Pisguera, sila mo gitagaan og kanang shall we say the privilege to get into that matter so that whatever will be the output will be the youth power. So daghang kay salamat nimo diha Earl kay ikaw lang ako attention sa kong secretary and there's another Zoom. Vilma?
Yes, Mayor. So, dili na ka mo entertain og lain nga question?
Last question, last.
Okay, last question, Mayor. On General Feliciano, being the chief implementer sa Task Force Gubat sa Baha, nakakita ka sa grabe kayo nga epekto sa pagbaha dito sa Davao. Daghan kayong gikuyawan ato Mayor. Unsa may imuhang specific nga directives ni General Feliciano being the chief implementer sa Gubat sa Baha?
No sacred cow. No sacred cow. Long overdue breaking up of edifices, infrastructure. Do not wait. I wish when we talk about win-win, and then the delay will already be, shall we say, felt, and then we will be hit by a thunderbolt. Regret will come later. I don't want that. I will be having a Zoom meeting with all of them under direction in the presence of Secretary Simato. I would like that as a very important, shall we say, Zoom meeting. So with that, the marching order, no sacred cow, delay in implementing, breaking up infrastructure, waterways to flow, then looking at the outlet and the inlet are very important, and then mindful about the gravity, and that is water seek its own level, then looking up the upstream so that they will all be received, retarded, or whatever intervention that are needed so that flash flood will be avoided. And then children will not be floating as dead. Okay?
No timetable, no timetable for this
Yesterday,
house.
yesterday long overdue, yesterday.
It seems nga yesterday, but until tomorrow, wala pa gihapoy
They
klarong
will have to
action.
do it. Because otherwise, when I come back, I will be the one to do it. Oo, sila.
Okay. Mayor Mike, imuhang mensahe para sa mga Cebuanon.
I am very thankful while I'm away that the mouse didn't play and all are doing the job. Salamat sa acting mayor Dondon. Salamat sa karon acting mayor Raymond. But because of this technology, the mayor is not away. He can easily be accessed. And now, thank you very much because another Zoom will have to be in the offing. So daghang kaayong salamat. Sunod, dalian niyong aligrar ang atuang kaning Ingna'ng Mayor niya pahinumdumi sa ng mayor. Aron nga dili kay ako maghinumdum sa kong sekretary ha. Daghang salamat, mga hapon.
Salamat. Daghang kayo salamat Cebu City Mayor Mike Rama sa programang Ingna'ng Mayor.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Welcome, welcome.
Intak kinabuhi sa commuter. Isuking sa akin, isuking ulan. May untag na programa ang city government nga muhatag og libreng sakay para dili mag-stranded ang mga pasahero. So tama niyo no. Isuking ulan. Isuking sa akin, matugay na bukaling kuliron.
Ingna'ng Mayor.
Kami mga manindahay diri nga mga ginagmay ra nga nagyud tami ka bilang kautangan na lang kausla na lang nga gamay ra og tubo. Kay daghang requirement kay di ba mi kompleto. Amo landing area ra biya ni.
Ingna'ng Mayor.
Samo kay kanang gugot ba wa sila nakaayo kung asa dapita ang kanang ko alam na kanang bike bitaw nila kaning magkasugat-sugat na di hapit maka so na mga kanang mga motor na musul pa dito nga dagko nga sakyanan samot ka traffic. So why klaro nga kuan ba kung asa mo exit nga mo entrance sana ba.
Ingna'ng Mayor. Oh, Ingna'ng Mayor.
Unsa jud kaning Singapore like Cebu City sa?
Ingna'ng Mayor.